This is an ABC News special report.
Hi, I'm Diane Macedo. We're coming on the air because we're now seeing images of the first group of hostages released by Hamas as part of a deal brokered with Israel. This is the first group of what's expected to be roughly 50 hostages released over the next 4 days. Our Matt Gutman is in Tel Aviv with the latest. Matt, what are we learning about these hostages and where they are now?
We've just learned from Israel's medical services, Diane, that all of the hostages who've been transferred, we don't have an exact number yet, but all of them are in good condition. We understand that Israel's security services, the Shin Bet, basically like the FBI, have seen them. They're now being transferred to Israel. They will then meet an Israeli military unit with specialized training on dealing with hostages. They'll have their identities rechecked to confirm that they are on that list. And at that point, they'll go a very short medical checkup. They'll be given telephones to be able to call their family members for the first time in 49 days. Then they'll be flown to hospitals in Israel. All of the children being flown to Schneider's Children's Medical Center here in Petah Tikva, about a half an hour away from Tel Aviv. That's where they will see their family members for their first time, and that's where a group of psychologists will be waiting to help them deal with the trauma. And I just got to mention, you can probably hear the singing behind me. This is a spontaneous celebration that developed here at Hostage Square in Tel Aviv. There is cautious jubilation, I would say, very much on edge here about whether this hostage swap will continue. There's still 3 more days of this, Diane. Of course, Palestinians getting 39 prisoners from Israeli jails to be released into the West Bank in the coming hour or so, we understand. And of course, a huge amount of aid flowing into the Gaza Strip. I understand 200 trucks today, 200 more tomorrow, more in the coming days, Diane.
Matt, what do we know at this point about who is in this first group and who's in the remaining group of the roughly 50 in total who are expected to be released over the next 4 days?
We don't know their identities yet. We understand it's women and children. We don't know who they are. We don't know if Americans are among this first batch as well. We do understand from Israeli sources that everybody is in good condition at this point, but it is also important to note that in addition to the 13 hostages we understand were released today, again, Israel is verifying that, there are also 12 Thai nationals who were kidnapped along with the Israelis and other foreign nationalities on October 7th. They have also been transferred to Israel. That is a separate deal, apparently brokered between the Thai government, Iran, and Hamas, but they are also free. That is a major development that we were not expecting today, Diane.
So, Matt, what's the expected timeline now between the release of these hostages by Hamas and also the release of Palestinian prisoners by Israel in exchange?
Everything is happening imminently, Diane. We understand that those hostages are very close, if not in Israel at this point. We have not seen video of them. We don't exactly know who they are, but that should be happening imminently. As soon as that happens, the Palestinian prisoners, 39 of them, women and minors, will be released into the West Bank. They will be going home at some point, and then the entire process will be repeated tomorrow. And so far, it is important to note, Diane, that this ceasefire is holding. So far, both sides have upheld their parts in this agreement.
And Matt, before I let you go, I know officials were saying they were hoping to take advantage of that 4-day ceasefire to try to get more aid into Gaza. Any updates on that?
Yeah, a significant amount of aid has flowed into Gaza today. 100 trucks before noon. We understand another 100 trucks have flowed in since then. Medicine, food, water. Also, fuel is going in. Not a lot, about 4 truckfuls. That will be continued in the coming days. And again, this is going to be repeated every single day for at least the first 4 days of this hostage deal. And remember, Hamas says that it might release more, and every day that it releases at least 10 more hostages, Israel will say, okay, we'll give you another full 24 hours of this ceasefire, and that will continue as long as hostages are released. When it is over, the Israeli military, its defense ministry, has said it will resume the fight in Gaza. Some areas of concern, Diane, we understand that many Palestinians have tried to go back to their homes in northern Gaza, having been there twice in the past week. There is not much left to go back to. The infrastructure there is completely destroyed. No water, no electricity, no sewage, almost no shelter. Most of the buildings that we saw were either completely destroyed or severely damaged. Northern Gaza does not appear habitable at this point, but we do understand that people are still trying to go to their homes there and to different parts in southern Gaza. Unclear how Israel is going to negotiate this and if this disrupts the ceasefire in any way. But again, everybody here in Israel and in Gaza on tenterhooks for the coming days, Diane.
Yeah, it is. is a lot. All right, Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv. Stay safe, Matt. Thank you. So again, we're seeing those first images of that first group of hostages released from Gaza as part of a deal brokered between Israel and Hamas. They are the first group of what's expected to be roughly 50 hostages released over the next 4 days, and we will be watching those exchanges very closely. Right now, we'll return you to your regular programming. I'm Diane Macedo. Stay with ABC News for the latest.
This has been a special report from ABC News.